Good job, Burger King, for celebrating 70 years in business. Capitalism is working for you. So, capitalism, even though people are knocking on it, saying that, well, we should have a different system because it doesn't support enough. There's a new growing trend called Patchouli Girl. Now, this girl did a video on YouTube walking down the street, and she made a comment, and then it went viral everywhere. Is that possible? Okay? Otherwise, she'd be a know-nothing. I mean, she's got hats with her name. She's got her t-shirt with her name. I've seen with wallets with her name. Seen bandanas with her name. I mean, it's all over the place. And that is the name brand that she's promoting. Now, she doesn't want to be called this. See, capitalism created this. Now, she should get some investors together, keep that money aside, because one day it's just gonna all, go downhill. Because capitalism doesn't say, hey, ride high forever. Capitalism says, no more. This is a new trend. And that's the way it goes. See, capitalism doesn't wake up every day and wonders how much food you had to eat last night and did you get a good sleep. Capitalism just says, what are you going to do? Now, there's a lot of poor people out there that I've been reading about dipping in their 401ks because they're scraping by because they can't afford interest rates and everything. Well, that's just the nature of the beast of capitalism. And you gotta get yourself in a skill that's going to be thriving, not a skill that's going to be dying. Now, they're talking about the new generations. They're going to be, they're going to be the two-belt generations. They're going to work these jobs and everything. They ain't going in it. And the reason why they're not going in it is not because of higher education, but because they look at the future and they say, hey, you know what? I can do this internet thing, make way more money, and then I can hire someone else to do that. Now, who are you going to hire someone else to do that? You're going to find somebody because somebody wants that greenback. And if somebody wants that greenback, chances are they're going to figure out how to fix a problem. Or they're going to make so much money that they're going to have the robots of the future do all these necessary things that everyone says, oh, no, they can't. You just got to stop doing that. Capitalism doesn't care what you want. If the capitalist system wants the robots, you're going to get the robots. And that's it. Now, to talk about the have and have-nots, which I don't call them have and have-nots anymore. I call them the skilled and unskilled labor force. Now, what do I mean by that? You're going to have a point of where people are going to be skillable and people are not going to be skillable at all. These people, quoting the new leader of the WEF, the worthless lives. That's what he calls them. Now, these people, they're just not going to have purpose at all. Now, is that sad to say? Yes, but that is a capitalist society. A capitalist society, as I said before, does not wonder. Save your pennies. Save your dollars. And try to get a place of your own somewhere. Try to just wake up one day and stop putting your life on hold, because capitalism does not work that way. Does not wonder, did you get enough sleep last night? Did you get enough eat? Capitalism only wonders what you're going to do. That's it. And to show that capitalism is a beautiful thing, Iron Will 85 got this house right here. If I was in an era country, except maybe Europe or UK, this wouldn't be possible. Reason why it wouldn't be possible is I'm a disabled person. I'm not going to go into what my disability is, but I am. And a lot of places would just write you off. But capitalism, no. Capitalism said, hey, you want it, you're going to get it, man. Just go out there and do it. And I did it. Now, to bring another situation that's been going on, I have a neighbor that's having a hard time in a situation. But he was applying for a loan and he got denied only because he didn't have enough capital. And while he's just talking this, that, and the other, he hit the nail right on the head. And I don't think he even realized it. But I think he might have got an idea what he just said. He said, and I quote, "Well, I guess I gotta stop living poor." That's the first step. See, that's the mindset you gotta get. You can't just say, oh, well, this is my situation. Capitalism doesn't care about that. Capitalism will make you successful, or capitalism will leave you dirt poor. It's up to you. That's it. That's all. They don't teach us in school anymore because they want debt slaves. They don't teach us in school anymore because they want to change the capitalist system. They don't teach us in school anymore because, let's face it, a lot of the educators are so up their eyeballs in debt themselves, they couldn't even figure out what to do to teach it properly, even if they were looking at the manual. I got a good scenario. I was at work the other day, and this fella, I'm not going to name names, he was looking at a scratch off. He was looking at the scratch off ticket. Like, oh, I'm going to get it. This is my meal ticket. And really, if you save that $10 scratch off money every week, and at the end of the month, you got 40, 60 bucks, rolling it over. Depending on how much you buy every week, I don't know, but depending on how much you buy, you might have $300, you know, or more at the end of the year. That could do a lot more good than you just blowing it off on a scratch-off ticket, just hoping you make it big. Yeah, there are people that do, but I tell you, the money looks better in the bank with compound interest than it does blowing it on frivolous things like a lotto ticket. Well, see, capitalism, you know, you're hearing about senior citizens that are living on $900 a month. Well, why is that? Because they put themselves on hold on maybe not working. Now, there's a difference between not working and not working because you're raising a family like some mothers did and fathers. That's a difference. And that you should have a lifeline of support from your family. And if you don't, you have nobody. I'm sorry, but that's the way capitalism goes. If you're the type of person that thinks, oh, only a 40-hour work week, that's all I'm going to do, that's it, then you ain't going to get nowhere in a capitalist society. And for those people who think that whatever president gets elected is going to bring back the old jobs, and these old jobs, they're going to come back roaring. Capitalism doesn't care if the jobs come back or not. The reason why is because you have a corporate system that understands the way I survive is I get cheap labor. Survive is I work in an unregulated sector that allows me to work their workers 15, 17, 18 hours a day for as little as $5 a day. In some cases, even less. In some cases. So, am I saying that we're screwed? No, I'm not. But unless you realize that capitalism is not there for you to nurse on, but is there for you to thrive on, you're not going to get anywhere. Capitalism does not respect the poor. Capitalism really wants you to succeed. Now, there are things in capitalism that are for the poor people. They are. There's nonprofits. There's Habitat for Humanity. There's Goodwill Industries. But the dark side is this. Even though there are things for the poor, a lot of nonprofits out there, they're getting a kickback. So they're thriving on more poor people in the future. That's what they're hoping on. So they're not looking at your benefit. Well, some workers inside those companies may be, but for the most part, they don't want their money tree gone. And that's part of capitalism. Is you poor in capitalism is their commodity. You're their good. And every time a person does better in capitalism as a poor person, well, that's one less basically item on the shelf that they'll have to look after or count on. And they don't want that. So what I would say to that is think what you can do every day if you are poor not to be poor anymore. I'm talking about a simple thing like walking down your street. I'm talking like a simple thing like walking down your street and collecting every single can you see. Because eventually you'll get a bag full of cans, you take it to a scrapyard or a recycling center in your neighborhood, and someone gives you some money for those cans. Now I know it ain't gonna be much, but it's one of those things that it's a small step forward from you stop being in the poorhouse. And the crazy part is we don't have the systems of yesterday years, of we don't have systems of olden time in place that used to be like workhouses. They used to put poor people in workhouses, and they would work for their bread and butter. They would pull strings, they would break rocks, they would um, take old cotton shirts or wool shirts and cut them up in little pieces. That way it could go to tailors and be made for something else. I mean, that used to be an industry. And that's all gone because we thought that was inhumane. No, that wasn't the point. The point is now we have a different system. And this different system doesn't care if you're on the streets. What it cares about is you going back to that soup kitchen every so often and them knowing that they can count on that government dole to pay out to reimburse the soup kitchen to pay for you again. And they get that little kickback. See, they don't even have to have a brick and mortar building anymore. No. They say you're on your own. Well, maybe we'll get you a tent, but other than that, you're on your own. And capitalism does not like poor people. And I, for one, understand why. It's not the fact that you can't do nothing. It's the fact that there is means in place to make it so that you can thrive, and you do not want to take advantage of those tools in place, because that's all capitalism is a tool to make you go up, to make it so that you can put your head on a pillow and say, wow, my house is paid off. You know, I ain't got nothing else to worry about except property taxes. That's pretty dang cool. But people don't understand what capitalism is. But this is what capitalism is. It's a beautiful thing.